Book Club. Hey, everyone. Dan from One Man Book Club here. Listen, if you guys are paying attention to the book world at all, you've probably heard about this book, A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. Now, let's see. I knew I was going to love this book. I already knew I would. I mean, the premise is amazing. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but I just want to say, I wasn't going to read it yet. I wanted to wait until there was no sequels left. I don't like cliffhangers and I hate waiting for things to get resolved. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to read A Deadly Education until book 2 comes out, because originally the idea was this was going to be a duology. There was going to be 2 books. And so I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for book 2 to come out. It's going to be so great. I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to have book 2 to go, and there won't be any cliffhangers to worry about. And then Naomi Novik and her publisher published book 2 and said, oh, by the way, this is going to be a trilogy now, and I'm going to write a book 3. And I was like, no. I was disappointed because I was so excited to read book 1, A Deadly Education. And anyway, so I broke my rule. I broke the rule that I never break. I decided to go ahead and read it before the series is published. I mean, I hold fast that rule. You can blame Harry Potter for it, because I got tired and frustrated of waiting for the next Harry Potter book. It's not so hard. I mean, Brandon Sanderson, I'll read whatever book he comes out with. It doesn't matter. But usually I'll wait until the series is published before I'll start on it. Didn't this time. I was too excited. I wanted to read it. Forget the cliffhangers. I was just excited to read A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. Now, this is there's this magic school might have a familiar location. It's in London, and there might be a talented magical person, teenager, who has a dark prophecy that follows her around. So it might sound familiar to you, but I promise, the Scholomance is no Hogwarts. At this school, teenagers die. But wait, you say, what about Cedric Diggory? He died. It's not like Hogwarts was a safe place, and I'll say, true, Hogwarts was not a safe place. Voldemort was pretty lame. He killed like a few folks over the course of 7 books. Well, the survival rate at the Scholomance, 25%. Send 4 kids to the school, only 1 is going to come back. How's that for dark magic? Now, in this wonderfully imagined world from the endlessly impressive mind of Naomi Novik, the Scholomance is where the world's wizards' families send their children for training. The school itself is magic. Literally, like, there's no teachers, there's no employees, the schedules, the grades, the food, the sanitation, the libraries, all that stuff is all managed through the magic that was established by the school's creators. Inside of the Scholomance, it's like Lord of the Rings times Hunger Games times, a million. The kids with the best alliances and the most friends are the safest. The loner kids who don't have much to offer, well, they're the low-hanging fruit for the literal monsters who roam the dark corners of the school that are looking for delicious young wizards to munch on. The star of the story is one of these loners. She's trying to survive by flying under the radar. And I gotta tell you, she is a super, super cool character. She's wonderfully written. If anyone were to discover that she was really a once-in-a-generation, powerful, dark sorceress prophesied to topple the entire wizarding world, she would have to watch out for more than just the monsters. But as graduation looms, alliances have to be formed, spells have to be learned, power must be managed, and the need to survive takes center stage. And maybe our dark sorcerer could even become the hero? If you haven't read Naomi Novik before, I just want to say you need to prepare yourself for her unique writing style. The story is told exclusively from the mind of one character. So we spend all 337 pages in one narrative voice. It's done really, really well. But there's a whole lot of internal dialogue and like stream of consciousness that often drags on for pages, and it was occasionally hard to follow. It didn't bother me because I enjoy the challenge of experiencing unique voices. But other reviewers who read this book and left a review, they felt frustrated about that. So I just wanted to let you know and just be prepared. But, if you're a fan of Naomi Novik and you've read Temeraire and you've read Spinning Silver or Uprooted, you kind of will know what to expect. But if you haven't, just heads up. This isn't bad. I love this book. 5 stars. But I just want to make sure that's not a surprise to you. Now, the story is about unsupervised teenagers, so it's not hard to imagine what you're going to find inside. There's some romance. There's not really any strong sexual content in this book. There is moderate use of strong language that you want to know about, and there's plenty of creepy violence. Best, I'll say, for 16 and up. But make sure you have book 2 ready to go, because that one is published. And when you get to the end of this one, you are definitely going to need it. This book was fantastic. I hope you'll give A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik a try. Happy reading, everyone.